Hey guys, the Firebird is here. Welcome to my channel where we all believe the earth is flat. There's like so much evidence, guys, and if you don't believe that, you're wrong. But it's not as flat as Amy, come on, let's all be real here. I'm really curious to see how many people get that joke. But anyway, so Transformers Elite, the series that I'm finally getting to cover. And I did promise a certain someone that I was gonna do it, and that was like all the way in 2018, I think, and now we're like at the eve of 2020 and I'm finally doing it. So yeah, here we are. Now the main reason why I postponed this episode for so long is not because I didn't want to do it or anything. It's because I will admit I'm not the best when it comes to reviewing stuff. Like my gist on YouTube is that, you know, I crack up a video, I explain some things, give my opinion here and there, and it's not really much of a review. So I wanted to make a video that will do the series justice, but I was like, you know what, whatever, let's just, you know, make the video and see what happens with it. But anyways, you might be asking, what is Transformers Elite? Now, Transformers Elite is actually not like something that was officially made by Hasbro. Transformers Elite is basically a fan-made series. It has its own YouTube channel and it consists of about 22 episodes. Now, I will go ahead and say, and you guys can fight me on this, but I think Transformers Elite is one of the best fan-made series I have ever seen for the Transformers franchise. Now sadly, the series stopped like about 3 years ago. There's still plenty of episodes and it kinda ended in a cliffhanger, which left me really upset because I wanna see more, but sadly the series didn't really get that much support. There's still plenty of videos and some of them got some decent amount of views, but it's a real shame that this didn't took off like it really should have, because you can tell that the creators put a lot of effort into it. Oh, and by the way, you guys might be asking where this falls into continuity. Is the series its own thing? Is it trying to, you know, be connected to Prime, G1? There are some Prime elements in there like Arachnic, the Decepticons, but this seems to mostly connect to the G1 continuity, you know, post Fall Of Cybertron and all. I guess you could make an argument that this is connected to the Align continuity or not. Oh, well, it's not officially connected, but the creators sort of aimed for that. They aimed for this series to be connected to the Align continuity. And before I begin talking about the series itself, I want to say that the premise for this series is so unbelievably cool that I can't believe Hasbro hasn't made this yet. So the premise basically is, after the Ark and the Nemesis leave Cybertron with most of the Decepticon and Autobot forces, a small elite group of Autobots, that being Elite One's whole squadron, gets left behind. And they're basically the resistance fighting against a Decepticon-controlled Cybertron. They're on the run, trying to survive, stealing energy from the Decepticons, trying to avoid capture, and dealing with plenty of realistic scenarios like them, you know, running out of food, or even them fighting amongst themselves because, you know, they're basically living underground, they don't have enough space, they're, you know, they're cornered, they don't have much to do. It's actually a very grounded series in the Transformers universe, surprisingly enough, and it's like handled in a really good way, especially the writing. The writing for Transformers Elite is extremely similar to the writing for Transformers Prime. There's that witty humor that they do, it's very smart, it's very thought-provoking at times, the character relations are interesting. If you like Prime, you need to give the series a try. You're definitely gonna like it, I can promise you that. It's definitely a very Prime-like series. It's not like kiddie humor here and there. There is a bit of that, but it's like really small. For the most part, it's like full-on Transformers Prime levels of, you know, seriousness and edginess. Well, it's not really edgy, but you get what I'm trying to say. If you watch Transformers Prime, you know what I'm talking about. Transformers Prime had that serious aura, like, this is not a joke, this is actual war, we could die at any moment, and Transformers Elite is pretty much the same. Like in some episodes you could, you know, be wondering, oh, are they all gonna make it alive? Is a character gonna die in this episode, or is he or she gonna live? It's very interesting, it's suspenseful, the writing is good, I like it. I really like it. But the story wouldn't be nothing if it wasn't for the characters. The Autobots have quite a diverse cast. Now, something that I really want to applaud this series for is that they managed to portray the female characters in a very interesting light. Like, they have very good personalities, their characterization is good, they have strong personalities and all. But it's not like what Hollywood is doing with a lot of female characters in which they write them kinda bad, like Brie Larson is a plank of wood and Rey's a Mary Sue. The characters here feel like actual characters. Like, at one point I even forgot these are supposed to be female characters because, you know, the series doesn't make a big deal about it. These are characters that just happen to be female, and that's it. It's not like a lot of modern movies which just they try to make a big deal out of a character's gender. They you know, put emphasis on what the character is. For example, like they say the character is female and that's it. The series focuses more on who the character is, who they are as a person, their personality, their emotions, their goals, their fears. And that's what I like about this. It feels so organic, and it's something that I wish Hollywood will replicate more of. This series is just awesome. It's great. I love the writing. But going back to the characters, for the Autobots, our main characters are Elita 1's, you know, all-star female team. We do see a couple of male characters here and there like Ultra Magnus and Springer, and I do like their portrayal, but they're not exactly the focus since those guys, by the time of the series, they're off Cybertron and they're just communicating, like keeping in touch with Elita 1's team. Some of my favorite characters will be Elita 1, which I find really interesting, and she's very different from Optimus. Like, there's actually one point in the series where the characters are criticizing Firestar for wanting to rush in and, you know, rescue a fellow Autobot. And the others are like, no, that's an Optimus thing to do. Like, if you do that, you're gonna get us all killed. And Elita 1 agrees. She's like, you want me to act like Optimus? Like, Elita 1 and Optimus Prime are very different leaders. And that actually kinda makes me really excited. Like, it makes me want to see more of Elita 1. Chromia is alright. I mean, we don't get much of her character except that she's like this, you know, this strong female, you know, war veteran. Which, it's fine. Like, her character's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just that she doesn't really stand out too much for me. RC is also okay. I'm not a fan of her portrayal. Like, they made her in this series really cranky. Like, she's like this, you know, I don't have time for this. I feel like she's a bit too edgy. It's not like the RC from G1 or the RC from Transformers Prime. I feel like this RC is just a tad bit too edgy for me. But she's fine though, I don't hate her. Flare-Up's also alright, not much to talk about her. Green Light Lancer are like the support cast of the team. They're not really fighters and it shows on their personality, but overall I kinda like them, they're fine. I really like Firestar in this series, and I really like her relationship with Red Alert. And by the way, in the series, Firestar and Red Alert are actually a couple. And typically I'm not thrilled of seeing like you know, LGBT stuff and series and stuff. Not because, you know, I'm against it, but it's just because most of the time it's shoehorned in and it's used, you know, to push a political agenda and stuff like that. I've seen it be handled so poorly that every time I see it, I'm like, ugh, here we go again. But surprisingly, the series does this in a really good way. Like, I'm actually found myself liking these two and their relationship. Mostly because, again, the series handles this as not, you know, two characters that are gay and, you know, like each other. It's just two characters that just happen to like each other. That's it. Like, the series doesn't make a big deal of their sexuality or anything. It's just like these two characters, they care for each other, they have good chemistry, and you can see why, you know, they're together, and you can see them caring for each other in their dialogue. Because in the series, we don't really need prequel tier level dialogue where the characters, you know, go around about talking how much they love each other. You can just tell from their dialogue that they're like, oh yeah, I care about her, and that's it. Like, they don't need to, like, you know, shout it out for everyone or like make a statement or whatever, and I found that really cool. Oh, Red Alert is also female in this series, which, I mean, I kind of like female Red Alert over regular Red Alert just because regular Red Alert I found him to be a bit dull, and at least this female Red Alert has more personality. She's basically the female Ratchet of the team, and I like her for it. Rat Trap also makes an appearance, he's fine, I like his humor. Botanica's here, and I really like Botanica in this series, by the way. If you guys watch Beast Machines and you didn't like Botanica, this series is gonna make you like her. Like, this series made me like Botanica. Again, she's not really a fighter, she's using her brains to help out her teammates, and some of the stuff that she comes up with makes me be like, I like this concept. Hasbro, if you're watching this, you need to copy what the series is doing, because that's a very interesting plotline. Springer makes an appearance, he doesn't really do much. Ultra Magnus is like the, you know, by the books, cranky kind of leader, which it's fine, I like him. Glyph is probably one of my favorite characters too. I'm not gonna spoil what happens to her and what she does in the series, but I just found her to be one of the most, well, one of the most human, one of the most likable, and one of the most sympathetic characters in all of this. It actually made me want to see more of her in the actual official, you know, Hasbro stuff. And I really like Moonracer's personality. She's fun, quirky, and all that. She has like this weird, like geeky, dorky kind of girl attitude, which honestly is kind of like the archetype I could see myself dating, so she immediately gets an A+ for me. I really like Moonracer. but the series wouldn't be as good if we didn't have our antagonist. Now, in comparison to the Autobot cast, the Decepticon cast is actually quite a bit smaller. Obscure characters like Strika and Oil Slick do make some appearances in here, but they're mostly background characters, so we don't see much of them. Our main characters are Shockwave, Shockwave is Shockwave. Shockwave really hasn't changed anything, he's still a logic-loving psychopath. And the writing for him has been really good and really in character, so I really like that about him. Slipstream, I really like Slipstream, just cause she doesn't have a lot of temper, okay? Like, if other people like mess around too much, which like she just flips out of you. Her voice actress did an amazing job with Slipstream. I just find it so enjoyable when she gets angry, she just starts going off at the other characters. But Arachnid will have to be my favorite character in this series. This Arachnid is exactly the same as the one in Transformers Prime. She's manipulative, cunning, she basically has like no allegiance. She's probably the most interesting character out of all of this. Her relationship with Slipstream is also really funny and really entertaining to watch. And then we have Thunderblast. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Thunderblast, but this series made me like Thunderblast. In Transformers Cybertron, I was never a big fan of her, but in this series, they basically do what Thunderblast should have been in the first place. She's like this, well, purposely written annoying character towards other people, and that also reflects on her voice. Like, her voice actress did a good job, like making her seem obnoxious and stuff, and that often gets Slipstream to, you know, last shot at her. I really like Thunderblast. Like, she's like stupid, but she's stupid in a way which is enjoyable to watch. It's really funny. It's very well written. This is not this is why I can't do a review, guys. Like, I like this series. That should be obvious by now, but it's really hard for me to articulate like just how much I like it and what aspects do I like. Overall, I really enjoyed this series, but I know why some people wouldn't give this a chance. And it's not because it is a fan-made series. Like I said, the voice acting for the most part is extremely good. Like, there are some very talented people working on this. With the exception of maybe the Alpha Trion voice actor and maybe Gleb's voice actress, although I think that was intentional because she's supposed to be a smaller Autobot. The entire cast of the series is voiced in a really good way. The performances are authentic and in character. It's actually really scary how the Arachnid's voice actors for this series sound so alike with the, you know, official voice actress for Arachnid in Transformers Prime. It's actually kind of scary. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, in this series, sadly, it's not an animated series. It's mostly like this radio broadcast. Like, every episode you tune in, then you get the segment where the characters are talking, like through comms and stuff. Characters lead the scene, characters enter the scene. And overall, I can see why this will be something that not a lot of people will like to, you know, be watching. Like, the series really shines with its audio, its characters, its storytelling. But when it comes to the visuals, it sort of struggles a little. Now, that's not to say that we don't get any animated segments. Like, every once in a while, we're gonna get a 2D animated segment where the Autobots are actually fighting the Decepticons. And at the beginning of each episode, or sometimes towards the end, we're gonna get some small scenes that, you know, depict what's going on, the scenery that the characters are currently in, and a bunch of other stuff. This fan project was created by Sydney and A-N-G? I probably got that wrong. And I really can't thank these people enough. Like, this has brought me so much entertainment, so much enjoyment. It actually made me like a lot of these characters that, honestly, let's not beat around the bush here. Some of the female characters in the Transformers franchise are not entirely the best written characters, and a lot of them often just get, you know, shoved into the background. So this series kinda gives the spotlight to those kinds of characters. We get to see plenty of obscure characters, and for our main characters, for the Autobots and Decepticons, they really do get their times to shine. Like I said, I'm not really gonna tell you what some of these characters do, which characters die, which characters survive, because honestly, I will ruin the enjoyment of watching this for yourself. The first episode is a bit of an exposition dump, at least towards the beginning, but after that, the series really picks off. Like, the dialogue is good, the story becomes more complex and interesting. This is the kind of series that I feel you should, like, probably watch twice. Like, if you watch the first time, you're gonna be like, oh, that was actually pretty good. But if you watch the second time, you can pick up a lot of little details that become relevant later on. And other little small details that I did not notice until my second viewing of the series. This series overall, I would say, does have plenty of, rewatch value in my opinion. For a fan series, and for what little 2D animation action that we do get, this went above and beyond the Call of Duty. Like, this is one of those things, one of those fan-made things that I would say it's almost a masterpiece. In terms of, fan-made projects, fan quality standards. Imagine if the creators of the series had Hasbro support with this. Like, they had more money, more backing. This series could have been probably the best Transformers series of all time. If it had, like, more animators working on it, if it actually continued. And that's actually my biggest gripe with the series, that it ends not really in a cliffhanger. It ends in a way where you can like tell where they were trying to go, like where the story was heading, but it made me feel kind of empty inside, because I was like, I want to see more. Like, it got really good and it just stops. Should you still give it a watch? Yes, you definitely should. This is a very good series, and I probably didn't really do a good job articulating what do I like about the series and like how good it actually is, but you just have to trust me on this. Transformers Elite is a masterpiece when it comes to fan projects. Like, very rarely do you find something with this much passion, this much effort, this much quality put into it. It has its flaws, yes it does, but with what little it has to work with, it accomplishes a lot. So you guys probably are thinking, what will I rate this series from a scale of 1 to 10? Well, it's one of those series that you can't really, be watching, like, let's say Transformers Prime, you just sit back and just watch the episode. This series, for the most part, it's like, you just go do something else and you listen to the characters' dialogue. It's a bit like that, but then it also has those good segments so we actually get to see animation and movement and things get interesting. The voice acting is amazing, aside for a few very few exceptions, and the storyline is engaging and it gets really interesting as you go on, especially towards the last episodes. It gets extremely good. If this was a TV show with, Prime's animation and stuff, this will be a 10 out of 10. But because of the limitations, I have to be honest, I will give it an 8.4 out of 10. Yeah, it's really good, I really like it. For a fan project, it accomplishes a lot, but it still has its flaws, and honestly, I'm gonna be brutally honest, if it could make up for the gripes I had, then this will easily be a 10 out of 10. But anyways guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Shout out goes to our patrons, Morais Prime, iPost Fate, Mario Gordon, Predaking Hunter Plays, and the absolute Matla himself, Jordan the Great, who donated $100. Thanks a lot for donating, guys, it's much appreciated. Shout out goes to their channels, links them in the description down below and in the comments down below. Make sure to go check them out, they need all the help they can get. And if you guys want to shout out your subs, all you have to do is donate. By donating to my Patreon, you get access to some of my videos early, you can request your own videos, do a collab with me, ask me to cover a variety of different topics that are Transformers related, or they could also be non-Transformers related. It's up to you, and you get plenty of freedom to choose. But yeah, shout out to my patrons, thank you guys for donating, it's really appreciated. And if you guys want to donate, you already know what to do. Just keep in mind that this is completely optional, I'm not forcing you to do so, and I don't want you to feel pressure to do so. If you want to support me, go and do so, and if you don't want to, just watch my videos. It's simple as that. But thank you for all your support, guys. Again, I really like the series, you should definitely watch it. Who knows, maybe if we give the series enough support and the channel enough support, really go subscribe to it just in case. The creators of the series might notice and they may actually consider coming back to it. I don't know what happened to the creators, I tried to get in contact with them, but they never, responded back to me. So in reality, I don't really know what happened to them, but if you guys want, I can do a video talking about it and maybe throwing in some speculation or whatever. But that's up to you guys. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. Jackie Prime, I'm so sorry this took so long, but I was a bit nervous because I really like this series and I wanted to do a review that, did the series justice, and that's kind of why it took me so long to get this out, because I wasn't confident on my ability to make the series justice. Hopefully I convinced some of you to go and check it out. Hopefully you guys, will give the series a chance and maybe even subscribe to it, because it really is a good series. Like, you guys really should check it out. If you guys want me to talk about more, fan-made projects like this, then I might talk about some other stuff. I might talk about TFI Creations and his, Transformers series, or I could even talk about some more Transformers animation stuff like Osro or even MPX graphics. Like, it's up to you guys if you guys are interested. If not, then I guess I'll stop it right here. I already said what I wanted to say about this series that I love so much, and that's good enough for me. If you guys are not interested on me talking about more fan-made projects, then I understand, but it's whatever, it's up to you. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys. Hashtag bring back Transformers Elite, or we riot.